I nasty. Wait. Oh. What's up, YouTube? I told you I'd be back with some more Blob content. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. As always, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss this awesome Blobtacular content. I can't believe I said that with a straight face. All right, let's move on and go ahead and get into the deck I'll be going over today. I actually am going to be featuring a deck that I found several different versions of, but I like this version the best. And this is the version that Binks Plays posted. I will make sure and have him linked in the comments below. You probably already know who he is. He's a lot bigger streamer and content creator than I am. He's an awesome dude. And if you watch the WSF, which is the World Snap Federation that I'm a part of, he did bring my team home the glory this past Sunday. So Binks a lot and appreciate that dude. He's an awesome guy. Was just in the Conquerors event and he brewed up this super sweet blob ramp deck that you are probably seeing quite a bit of. I've seen a lot of different versions of this deck. I really personally like his version the best. The main thing that he did that's a little bit innovative is the Akoi. And this is just really cool. It adds, if you get a Koi on 2, that's a lot of added stats to your blob when you play him on turn 5. So really like that innovation. Other than that, this is a pretty typical looking ramp deck. It's very similar if you think of to the Black Panther Arnim Zola decks of the past. It draws a lot of inspiration from that. The nice thing about this deck, though, is it just goes a little bit taller on average. Those decks, they kind of had a limit to where they could go, whereas Blob can get a lot bigger than that Black Panther got. So it's also just a little bit more flexible because with that deck, you had to draw Black Panther plus Zola. This one, you can draw Blob plus either Taskmaster or Zola will duplicate that blob for you and get you a ton of stats all across the board and give you 2 pretty much insurmountable lanes to contest with. I've really enjoyed this deck, and I wanted to go ahead and get into sort of what the game plan is so that we can break down just how to play the deck and how the deck functions. So first up, let's kind of go over the game plan and why you should be playing Blob Ramp over just a normal ramp deck. And the main reason is just it goes a lot bigger than those other ramp decks. It's just the game plan for this deck is pretty simple, but it's just one of those things where you kind of ask your opponent, can you beat this? And if they can't, you win. A lot of the times, they're not going to be able to beat your blob when it is 30 some, 40 some power, which is very easy to obtain with this deck and with the cards that you run in this deck. So your basic game plan is pretty simple. You turn 3 ramp, Electro or wave. If you wave, unfortunately, you then have to blob a little early, which does limit your plays a little bit going forward, meaning you'd have to have already drawn the Taskmaster or Zola to make that work on turn 6. But if you draw Electro, then you can go Electro. Then on turn 4, you can play one of your 5 drops, and then turn 6 block, or on turn. If you draw Electro, then you can go turn 4, one of your 5 drops, turn 5, your blob, turn 6, Zola or Taskmaster, and have just a pretty insurmountable board. So Electro is definitely your best card. That's the one you're looking for most often and will lead to your most wins. And just remember, this deck is pretty straightforward and it doesn't really have counterplay. Like you're just kind of doing your thing and hoping your opponent can't beat it. So there's a lot of things you sort of have to watch out for. So let's sort of go into snapping strategies and how you should play this deck. Snap the ramp. That's always my advice when playing ramp decks. If you have, your strong Electro or wave curves into, Blob, Zola, all that stuff, you should snap. Snap, Zola, Blob. Pretty simple. There's not a lot of nuance to this. That's one of the best things about decks like this is you can just play your game plan and do your thing. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, you just leave and that's fine. So it can lead to a lot of really big static games. Blob makes a lot of cool boards. He also, for those of you who haven't seen before, you'll see a little bit in some of the videos that I'll be posting over the next couple of days. Blob also melds the flare effects from your variants in your card. So make sure you're playing with your flashiest flared variants when you play with Blob, because it makes for some pretty funny looking Blob locations. Just a little minor note, not important to the actual strategy of the deck, obviously, but it is pretty funny. So like I said, you should always snap the ramp, always snap when you have Blob into Zola. That's your best draw, that's your best start, and makes for some unpredictability where if your opponent forgets about Zola, you can kind of get them with the Zola on the Blob, and it's pretty cool. You also are running armor in this deck. I wanted to note that you should be watching out for Shang. Shang is everywhere right now because Blob has become so popular. So if you have priority going into the final turn, you haven't played a blob yet, they're gonna block. They're gonna try and Shang you. So try and think about that. They might Shang you on your blob if you play it early. So sometimes you can't go for the Zola line. You got to play your blob behind the armor. But the biggest one to really watch out for is Shadow King because unfortunately Shadow King does completely shut down blob. It's pretty sad. Poor little blob going back down to 4 power. I feel like it should be illegal. I don't think it's fair that a 2-drop gets to kill my cool blob, but it is how it works. So if you're getting counter snapped on turn 4 or on turn 5 or 6 after they see the blob, that's probably what it means. And unless you have prio, you got to be very, very careful. One of the things you can do is you can play around Shang a little bit by, if, trying to be unpredictable with whether you split your blob or not. So if you think they're going to Shang and they know you have Arnim, you just leave the blob where it is. You put the Taskmaster in another lane and hope that they guess wrong. If you don't think they're going to play around the Zola, then you can get them pretty good. I won quite a few games by just Zolaing the blob because people just, I guess, weren't thinking about the fact that I wasn't going to leave the blob there. And there's just different ways you can play. Just try and be smart. A lot of times it's pretty hard for this deck to beat Shang. So unless you had Electro into like Arrow, one of your big drops, and you have a lane pretty stacked without a blob in it, then you probably just have to leave in those games. And that's okay. That's part of snapping strategy. So that's why I've started to try and include these on areas where you should leave because, this deck is very straightforward. It's very easy to counter. So if your opponent has the counters, they're going to win. You just kind of got to accept your beats and move on. But a lot of times you're just going to win games with this deck because you just go so big. You can win all 3 lanes. And, that makes it very hard. And that's one of the nice things about having like the vision and the arrow is those can be nice little surprises for your opponent when they think maybe they've got you figured out. They think that Shang's going to win. Maybe you arrow their prior threat into a lane that they're not expecting, and then you win anyway. So definitely a little bit of flexibility there with the arrow, but overall, you really just have to watch out for Shang. If they have Shang, you just got to accept it and you got to move on with your life and let them have that one. So, what is the verdict on Blob? I did want to go ahead and kind of include this because we talked a little bit about him yesterday, but I wanted to kind of give you my final thoughts on Blob, whether he's good, whether he's worth picking up. And one of the nice things I've realized about Blob is how unpredictable he is. This is something that a couple people in my chat, Lammy actually stopped by the day before Blob came out. And then if you know who Quinny is, she's featured some of her decks before. I'll have her linked in the description as well. Um, they both sort of were selling me on the idea that Blob is just good because Blob is hard to know what you have to beat. A lot of higher level snap is predicated on being able to say, okay, they're going to play Infinite here, She-Hulk here. I need to be 26 power here. I need to be 18 power here, etc. And Blob makes that completely null and void. If they expect the Blob and it's going to 8 cubes, they have no idea what power they need to beat in that lane. So if they don't have the Shang and you don't have priority, they just kind of have to accept that where you play Blob, they're going to lose. And that makes it a lot harder for them to math out a victory, a lot harder to predict what they need to do. And it's just a very strong play. So even in a non-ramp shell, Blob is very, very good. And then as you can see, you'll see from this video, he also just goes so tall that a lot of times you're going to win a lot of games just by sheer out brute forcing your opponent with Blob. So I do think he's actually a surprisingly good card. This is not one I would have predicted being one of the best cards of the month. In fact, I think I had this one ranked as last, embarrassingly enough. And I wish I could take that back because he's ended up being pretty good. So yes, I recommend picking him up. Obviously, if the style of deck he goes in isn't your style of deck, then you can pass. But this is a week with a lot of good cards in the spotlight caches. So maybe if you have 4 saved up, probably a good week to go ahead and spend them and get that card. He's a lot of fun and he enables a lot of really cool strategies. So definitely recommend picking him up. And as you see from here, is Thanos back? Why? I think it might just be some of the best performing blob decks have had Thanos in them. And I haven't been testing Thanos, haven't found a list that I love yet, but I'm going to continue testing today. So if you want to come hang out on Twitch, I'm probably live right now if you're watching this video when it came out. So come hang out with me. Come see Blob in action. We're going to be trying out some Thanos Blob decks and see if we can make them work. And other than that, enjoy the gameplay, and I'll catch you next time. Why is that so freaking funny to me? I don't know. Hey, we don't want none of that. Actually, it's fine. We have the OP combo. All right. Well, no Akoi this game, I guess. No! All right, Chad, I believe. I believe in the Blob. He's going to come back to... No, this is all strategic. We're going to draw Blob and Arnim, and now he's going to be even bigger because it shuffled stuff back in. Oh, sweet. Never mind. We don't have to worry about it. It's another freaking negative deck, though. I brought these all out of hiding. These are the clothes that I'm wearing. Dum, 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 dum. Who needs to draw cards, honestly? Dude, you dirty cheater. What's up, Mo? How you doing, buddy? I am so angry at you, opponent. I am so angry. We can't Zola this one. Oh. Well, that was awful nice of them. You think they're going to play over here? I don't think so. I think we're going to get them, chat. Ready? I believe we're going to get them. No, it re-triggers the on reveal, which then sets its power to this. I learned that the hard way, actually. I did that one game. I don't know. Yeah. What I'm more worried about is them having a way to get over here, but like what, Doom? But if they're Dooming, then they're not doing the other thing as well. And they only have 2 cards left in deck, so if they're playing Blob, they're Blob's baby. What's up, hipster? How's it going? Bloblactus decks brewing? How would you play Bloblactus? Blob and Galactus together? Oh, they left. What's up, BP? Victory. I actually think this deck is quite good. I've been very impressed with this deck. Welcome into the chat. Hope you're having a good time. Thank you for everybody hanging out on YouTube. Sorry if it takes me a second to respond on there. I'm still getting used to that. To the 2 chats, and the bot that's supposed to combine them won't work for me, so. This is so funny. I love guests. Hope my snap is doing better than yours. It's going okay. I nasty. Wait. Oh. Sorry, chat. I do tend to try to avoid drama. That's so rude. Oh, he's playing the deck. We're gonna try this deck next, chat. Oh, let me look at Dara's list. Does he have Shang? He does have Shang. No! Oh God, chat. We're gonna get shanged. I don't want to get shanged. I don't want to get shanked. No, that's totally going to be Shang, and I'm going to cry. Oh, it's not Shang. Damn it. He does have Prio, though. You think he has it? It's a 50-50. I should have just played Vision. I'll stay if he doesn't snap. If he snaps, I'm leaving. No Shang Blob. Blob, not Shang. Shanging Blob is kind of criminal. I'm not going to lie to you. If they snap, we just leave, chat. I'll give him 1 cube. It is funny. I nasty. That's not a Shang. Blob! Oh, we lose. Wait, do we? No, we don't. My Blob is bigger. My Blob bigger. My Blob bigger. Bigger Blob. Let's go. Victory. I set up that thing. So chat. I set up the Genshin sponsorship on Saturday, and I was like, I'll figure out when I can do it. But I didn't realize it automatically puts all that stuff into the chat. And then, and it was like, Rex actually went and did it. It was very appreciated. Okay. Ah. Wait. I think I want to do this. It's tough, Chad. It's tough. But yes, we're going to do this. Ah! I haven't played it yet. I like the when I do sponsor, I like to wait and just play it on stream. Yeah, it's a huge game. It's even big. It's like 150 gigs on PC. Yeah, PK, if you want to play, you're welcome to join me. Negative, eh? He burped, chat. That was fantastic. Anyone else play their other game? I have not. Look, dialogues are a little too long. We make null so big, chat. We have Prio, so we're gonna pull this. That doesn't do anything. Star Rail's better than Genshin? So that's the company that makes Genshin? Ooh, we can try. I'll see if that, whatever, chat. They're not snapping. I'll let them play it out. If they snap me, I'm leaving with their full hand of negative cards. No, thank you. This is a fun game, though, even if we lose.
Hail Hydra!
Hail Hydra. We're gonna get shanged, aren't we? That's so rude, man. Get out of here with that shit.
I am Iron Man.
This deck is cool until you just be lame and play a bunch of shangs.
I am Iron Man.
Hoyoverse. So they wrecked themselves. They wrecked themselves with the Iron Heart. Let's go. Kind of a jerk. You have a few more? Oh, they're so good. Bulbasaur Rave. Ooh. Hey. Come on, Arnim. Taskmaster. Oh, he's... Let's play it here. Chad, are you ready? This is a juicy looking blob.
Oh, snap.
That's Jeff and something small?
All systems go.
All systems go. Look at him getting all the... I can't even click on him. He's got all of the flair from the cards in my deck, chat. That's kind of cool. Yes, I did.
Snapped.
Oh. I have Prio. Ha 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 ha! No!
All hail Hydra!
Ho ho ho! Ho ho ho!
Victory.
I couldn't. I'm feeling I'm feeling saucy today, chat. I had a feeling they were trying to wreck me somehow. Can't stop that, can you?